Texas Governor Greg Abbott has been hit with a barrage of criticism and praise over the past 48 hours for his decision to lift the statewide mask mandate. He joins our Jack Fink now live to talk about this decision. Jack?
All right, thank you, Brooke, and thank you, Governor Abbott, for being here. When debating your statewide mandate, how much consideration did you give to reopening businesses 100%, but also keeping the mask mandate in place longer?
So listen, all of these issues were under consideration and talked about thoroughly. But here's what we concluded, Jack. We focused on the data of where we were and where we're going. The key drivers of the data are these, and that is there's been one solution we've all been waiting for, and that is vaccinations. And when you look at the vaccinations that we have been able to distribute, which over the past week is more than 1.2 million, and when you look at what we will be able to distribute in the coming days, you can see that we are going to be solving the problem that we were told to solve from the very beginning. A year ago, we had to slow the spread for 15 days so that we would prevent people from being hospitalized. The people most likely to be hospitalized are those 65 and older. By the time this order goes into effect, actually over 50% of the people who fall into that category will have received vaccination shots. And as a result, the people most likely going to hospitals is going to continue to decline. Today was the lowest day of hospitalizations in Texas since the middle part of October. The positivity rate in Texas is the lowest today than it was in the middle part of October. All the metrics are moving in the right direction. You cannot wait until you get to the very end, until there are no more COVID cases, because we're never going to get to a position where there are no more COVID cases. We are in a position, however, Jack, where people for a year now have learned what these safe practices are, such as wearing a face mask. And as a result, they don't need a government mandate telling them what to do to follow the strategies that they have mastered for an entire year. The numbers are adequate for people to be able to go back to work, open up, and get back to a sense of normalcy, especially for our kids in schools, while at the same time making sure that people do follow the best practices, which we continue to urge that people do wear face masks.
Governor, did you personally speak with any medical professional before you made your decision who advised you against lifting the mask mandate?
Sure, happy to tell you all the details about who all I spoke with, and that is we had a core team in the governor's office that we were working with, which included Dr. Zerwas, who, as you know, is the executive vice chancellor of the University of Texas Health System, including the University of Texas Health System there in Dallas, Texas, as well as my chief of staff, my deputy chief of staff, and they were all in touch with Dr. Hellerstadt, and everything that we announced was talked about. The metrics that we talked about, as well as what I was going to have in the executive order, as well as what I was going to have in my remarks. And the key point that wanted to be made by the doctors is that I do emphasize the importance of the fact that COVID has not suddenly disappeared. Even though we issue this executive order, doesn't mean COVID is gone. What it means is that we no longer need government running your lives. Instead, everybody must continue to assume their own individual responsibility to take the actions that they have already mastered to make sure that they will not be contracting COVID-19.
So given what you've said, what is your reaction then when you hear all the medical professionals who've criticized this decision? I mean, does it surprise you?
No, Jack, it does not surprise me because, of course, Dr. Fauci said we're going to need to wear masks until next year. And so we know that there are some doctors who do, but Jack, here's the deal. There's never going to be uniform agreement on this. And what you got to do, you got to take steps to make sure it really is in the best interest of all Texans. Understand this also, and that is every Texan that I'm talking to right now, as well as every Texan that I'm not talking to right now, has the full capability of making sure they do protect themselves if they have not received a vaccination, to make sure until they get their vaccination that they will take the steps needed. Importantly, along these lines, Jack, this is very important, and that is every senior will have a shot, a vaccine shot. Every senior who wants a vaccine shot will get one by the end of this month. Doctors have said that maybe as early as early May, every Texan who wants a vaccine shot will be able to get a vaccine shot. And then let me add this onto it also, and that is, according to CDC studies, more than 10 million Texans have recovered from COVID, and they have the antibodies in their own body. to be able to defeat COVID. Here's my point in telling you that. There are so many people in the state because of vaccines and the antibodies, they can go to restaurants, they can go to ball games, they can go to schools, whatever the case may be, without executive orders from Austin, Texas, because everyone knows the safe practices which we continue to urge people to use.
Governor, if I may, I want to ask you about the power outages. Last week, you were very critical of ERCOT, but you did not criticize the Public Utility Commission, which regulates ERCOT and answers to you. I'm wondering why not, and why didn't you call for the resignation of the chair?
Well, because I know what happened in the early hours of Monday and Tuesday, and that was, I know, the operational error by ERCOT. I know two things about ERCOT. I met with Magnus, the head of ERCOT, days before the storm hit, and I quizzed him about whether or not ERCOT was ready to deal with this storm, and he assured me they were. And I asked him about generation capacity and everything about generation to ensure that we're going to be ready for an unprecedented storm. Then, as you saw, days before the storm, I held a press conference telling Texans we're going to be in the worst storm we're ever going to have, and they needed to hunker down. And then, in the early morning hours of Monday morning, there was operational error where Magnus and his team did to the contrary of what they told us they were going to do. They told us they were going to go into rolling blackouts to make sure that it does not lead to a shutdown of the entire grid. Instead, they waited until too late in the decision-making process, and they did the equivalent of a speeding car on icy roads, jamming on the brakes, and it led to a crash. And what he did by suddenly shutting down more than 10,000 megawatts of power, it caused other power generating facilities to crash. This was an operational error by Magnus at ERCOT, and that's exactly why he needs to be replaced.
And he will be. Governor Greg Abbott, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.